All right, today we are back at it again, going over the schedules. It is I, Mr. Rodney, and also Mr. Daniels. Rodney from Game Time, as well as my man Daniel from
Yo,
Varsity Breakdown. So he chimes in.
What's
Um,
going on?
Today, what we're going to be talking about, we're going to be talking about the 4A East Sky. And since this is one of those Pinal County kind of programs or regions, I'm going to have my man Daniel jump into it and kind of go over these.
All right, so in the 4A East Sky, we got teams like Apache Junction, Eastmark, Marcos de Niza, Poston Butte, and Snowflake. And as you can see on the screen, last year Apache Junction went 1-9, 0-4 in the region. Eastmark 8-2, 4-0 in the region winners right there. Marcos de Niza went 4-6, 1-3 in their region. Poston Butte 6-4, 2-2 in the region, and Snowflake 7-3, ultimately losing to Eastmark and went 3-1 in the region. And as you can see as well, three out of the five teams made it to the playoffs, being Eastmark, Poston Butte, and Snowflake. And given the way that things work with these teams, those are possibly going to be some of your strongest teams again this year. But we'll kind of break it down as we go.
All right. Now, so another thing that I wanted to kind of also point out as well is it also shows the Max Preps rankings coming into this season, where Max Preps over at Apache Junction got them at 121, Eastmark 28, Marcos de Niza 91, Poston Butte 56, as well as Snowflake 53. And we're going to see if they're going to kind of hold true to that. We're going to go over the schedules like we always do. And first off, we're going to start off with Apache Junction. And so go ahead and hit that one up for me if you would, Daniel.
Yeah, so we got Apache Junction, as you said, ranked 121. They'll be at home for their first two matchups against Peoria, who's 84, Arizona College Prep, who's 45. Then they're on the road at Barry Goldwater, who's 96. At home against Santan Foothills, who's 149. At Bradshaw Mountain, who's 67. Then they'll have a Thursday night matchup against Marcos de Niza, who's 91. After their bye, they'll be at home against Coconino, who's 64. Next two road games are at Poston Butte, who's 56, at Snowflake, who's 53, and then finally wrap up at home against Eastmark, who is 28.
And that's going to go ahead and have Apache Junction coming in, according to Max Prep, with a 1-9 record out of that. Now, what do you guys feel? How do you feel they're going to do?
you know what? Just jumping in at this, I feel like they're going to go 1-9. You know what I mean? Obviously, they have their quarterback coming back. They have some pieces of the puzzle as far as like a little bit of wide receivers playing or coming back as well. Again, just looking at this schedule, I feel like they're going to go 1-9. And I'm the only one that says that. I know you guys have them going better than that, but I have them going 1-9.
And that win, it looks like we all agree, would probably be with Santan Foothills.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I got them going 2-8 with a different win as well with Barry Goldwater, where it looks like the person who's probably got them going the best here is going to be Daniel. Daniel, who do you got there?
So I also had the Barry Goldwater win, but then I also think that they're going to pick up that Thursday night game against Marcos de Niza. If you look at the roster for Marcos de Niza, I mean, they have lost a ton of seniors coming in from last year. And then if you look at what Apache Junction has returning, Aiden DeLeon, their quarterback, he's their not only their leading passer, but also their leading rusher who's coming back. And then you have their running back, Evan Dela Cruz, who's their second leading rusher. They're both coming back. And so I think when you look at Apache Junction, you got a quarterback who not only can throw the ball, he can also run the ball as well. The only problem for concern why I only had them at 3 wins was that they are losing their top 2 wide receivers. But I think that third game against Marcos de Niza is where they'll pick up that victory.
It's definitely going to be something to watch out. And like you said, there's some great players coming back for their program. But let's jump on to the next one here, which is going to be Eastmark. Go ahead and run that one down. Actually, we're going to make Rodney run that one down.
Let's go. Perfect. So with Eastmark is coming in at number 28. Their first home game is against Cane del Oro, so from Tucson. They're ranked 17th. Their first away game is going to be on a Thursday at Combs, which Combs is ranked 143rd or 43, with Mesquite, which is a home games 75th. And then their next two games are going to be away with at AZ College Prep and Northwest Christian, which College Prep is they're ranked 45th and Northwest Christian is ranked 34. Then they come back home for the next two games with Poston Butte is 56 and Desert Sunrise is 182. Then they got to go up to Snowflake. Oh boy, that is going to be a trip. Where Snowflake is ranked 53rd, and then they got to travel, home game, Market Day Niza, and then they end the season at Apache Junction, who is ranked 121. So, Chris, where do you see Eastmark?
So I see Max Preps has got them obviously going 9-1.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I see them going that. I think we all agree with the CDO win over them. We also see a win over Combs as well as Mesquite. I think we see a little differences at AZ College Prep. I actually go with a loss here. And Daniel, you're on my side on this one, right?
Arizona College Prep, I actually had them taking a loss here as well.
Yeah.
And then I think outside of that, there's only two other games that we have different, which you two have them beating Poston Butte, where I think that if there's going to be an upset against Eastmark, it'll probably be Poston Butte. And so I know I might get a little slack from Eastmark on that one, but if you look at the roster of Eastmark, their coach, he's now at Hamilton. Their quarterback, Mason Jensen, he's no longer in the state as he's actually at a high school in Utah now. So if you break down their whole roster, all they're returning is their number one wide receiver and their number 1 and 3 tacklers. So a lot of pieces to fill. Not saying that they can't do it, but at the same time, you're asking for a lot for a new coach to come in and expect them to have that much success in year one.
Wait, so I'm getting some word. Wait,
go ahead.
Eastmark has a lot of guys transferring over to the school. So they said they're going 9-1. I just got that. Wait. Okay. Oh, okay. Perfect. Okay, cool. Let's get
so
back.
Rodney, so the last one me and Chris had different from you was the game against Snowflake. You think they can go up there and knock off the Lobos there?
Listen, that's going to be a tough game. And you know what? Just looking at that game, I kind of just did like a coin flip. That's going to be a tough listen. That is going to be a tough game with them going up to Snowflake. Let's be honest. Okay, there we go. I was like, wait, what is the noise? It's gonna be a tough game, but again, I just have them going up there and battling out. You know what? Hey, listen, I'm gonna give you a score.
Oh my God, here we
28, go. 35-28. I said it right now.
That's a good one. That's a good prediction.
35-28 Eastmark. Write it down right now. Rodney said it. Let's go.
So Rodney's got Eastmark going 9-1. So
yeah, I was gonna say last year was 27-10. So in favor of Eastmark.
Oh yeah, see.
So Rodney's got Max Prep. He's agreeing with Max Prep's 9-1. Where me and you are kind of a little low. We're going 7-3 with the team. So next one up is going to be Marcos de Niza. You want to go ahead and hit that one up there, Daniel, as well?
Yeah, Marcos de Niza, as we said, is ranked 91. They'll open up at Yuma Catholic. Then have the next two matchups at home against number 81 McClintock and number 164 Fountain Hills, which will be a Thursday night game. Then they'll travel up to Yunker, who's ranked 90th. After coming out of the bye, they'll have that matchup against Apache Junction on Thursday at Apache Junction. The next two will be at home against 65 ranked Verado and 53rd ranked Snowflake. Then two road games after that at Lake Havasu, who's 100. And at Eastmark, who's 28th, and then they'll wrap up at home against number 56 Poston Butte. And Max Preps has them going 3-7. I don't know, we're kind of close there, but a little bit different,
right? I think
the only one who hit that one was you, Chris.
Yeah, I hit this one on the Max Prep head. So I got them going 3-7 with wins over Fountain Hills, also against Yunker, as well as Apache Junction. Those would be my 3 wins. But yeah, other than that, Rodney, you got them going 4-6. Where are your wins coming from?
Perfect. So my wins are coming from McClintock, Fountain Hills, which we all agreed on. And then I have them winning with you, Chris, against Yonker and with Apache Junction. So I mean, the McClintock one, they did beat McClintock last year. They beat them with a close game, 48-47. And again, I'm just kind of looking at who they have coming back, but I have them winning again. So make me look good, Margaret Niza, the Padres, 4-6. Let's go.
And right, Danny, you got them kind of coming in on the lower end of it at 1-9. Where's your win, and what's going on with your choices here?
So I only have them winning against Fountain Hills this year. I think McClintock, that game was a 48-47 victory. You're talking about a senior heavy Marcos Deniza team. I just don't think they're going to have enough coming into this year. And so that way, that other loss I have is against Yunker, which, they did beat them 34-12, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, 34-12. But I think when you're coming in with a young team with not so much experience, if you kind of look at their stat breakdown, the only thing they have coming back is their number 2 rusher and their number 2 tackler on offense and defense. So too much to kind of plug in. That's why I have them taking such a drastic dip coming into this year.
Got you, man. Got you. So the next program coming up is going to be Poston Butte, which is right around the corner from Rodney. So we're going to go ahead and pretty much let Rodney go ahead and say it. Go ahead, Rodney. Go with him.
Listen, hey, Poston Butte literally is right around the corner from me. So we have Poston Butte coming in ranked 56 this year. Their first game is at Micah Mount, which that's going to be a good game. Micah Mount is ranked 23rd. And then their first home game is against Cooper Canyon, Thursday game, which Cooper Canyon is ranked 192. Then they have a home game against Campo Verde, who is ranked 38th. And then they have a home game against Round Valley, number 66. And then their next 2 games are going to be against Coconino, who's ranked 64th, and at Eastmark, which is literally 15 minutes away, right? Which Eastmark is ranked 28th. And then they have a home game against Snowflake, who is ranked 53rd. And then they get a little break before ending their last 3 games of the season against Apache Junction, which is a home game, which they're ranked 121. And then Gila Ridge is at Gila Ridge, so 177th ranked. And then their last home game is going to be their last away game is going to be Marcos de Niza, who is ranked 91. Again, Max Preps have them going 6-4, which it looks like myself have them going 6-4 as well. But Daniel has them going 7-3. So, and then Chris 5-5. Damn.
So obviously the 7-3 one, that's going to come from the game that we talked about earlier, which is the Eastmark game. Have them picking up that one, but we're pretty solid in the first 4 games where we have them losing to Mike Mountain, beating Copper Canyon and Round Valley, but coming up short against Campo Verde. I know those are going to be 2 tough teams in 4A. But if you look at it, Chris, I think you're the only one who went different on Coconino. And then the rest is kind of like the same. Any reason you picked Coconino instead of Poston Butte?
Man, I'm honestly, to tell you the truth, I really liked what was coming back from Coconino. They seem to be having pretty much, when I looked at their schedule, they seem to be having pretty much a lot of their players return. So unfortunately, I can't drop the dimes on them right now. But I know for the most part is I liked how it looked when I was looking at that. I saw the game was kind of close, I thought, last year, if I'm going off the top of my head. So my losses are pretty much coming from Micah Mountain, which I think is going to be like an extreme team to come back. Campo Verde is obviously strong. Your Coconino Eastmark, as we had mentioned, and also Snowflake. Those are all 3 different, strong programs that came through on that one. So I'm liking those to be their losses, even though like you look at their strength is pretty much going to be non-conference. Obviously, their win's going to be Copper Canyon They should take that one. Round Valley is going to be a little battle, but I think they'll be all right on that one. But the last three is definitely going to be, I think, they're solid wins for them.
And so for that Coconino game, last year was only a 3-point win for Poston Butte, 30-27. The year prior to that, because I know there was that Coconino and Poston Butte play each other really well, 29-28 2 years ago. So
let me ask you this question, Daniel. Sorry to interrupt, but let me ask you, who are going to be some of the stars to be watching from Poston Butte this upcoming season? Who are some of the kids to watch?
So you got to start right at quarterback Mason Lloyd. He not only led the team in passing, he was number 2 on the team in rushing. Unfortunately, they lost Michael Whitman, who was their leading rusher. But outside of that, you have Evan Moore, who was their number 3 receiver. And then they have their top 3 tacklers on defense coming back. So if you know Coach Dane Thompson out there at Poston Butte, he bleeds defense and running the ball. Yeah. Now, the one thing that I want to see, hopefully different for Poston Butte, would be for them to air out the ball a little bit more. I know that if I looked at it, Mason Lloyd had, I think, under 100 attempts throughout the entire duration of last year. But if you go back to that game against CDO in the playoffs, CDO was taking it to them, and we knew how beefed up they were on the defensive end. So they were stopping the run throughout the whole game, and until Poston Butte finally started airing out the ball, that's when they started making a comeback there in the third quarter. But that's something I would like to see a little bit more with Poston Butte, because when you come into those teams like Campo Verde and Micah Mountain, who can play really good defense, you're going to have to be a 2-dimensional offense and not just ground and pound the ball up and down the field.
Right. So we got some interesting views on what's going on over at Poston Butte. But to wrap up this region, let's go ahead and let you go ahead and take away with it, Daniel, since it looks like actually the Snowflake coach, isn't that where? No, it wasn't the Snowflake. That's the coach is now over at Coolidge.
No, it's Cholo. So Coach Carlo Hernandez.
But I'll tell you what, I did get to watch last season, and I will say this about Snowflake.
Okay.
Being that it's not like a team that I typically would follow or know about. Snowflake last year, when they played Micah Mountain, they played a hard dog. That was a solid game. Great to see that sportsmanship that they actually had. So big kudos up to the Snowflake community. Wanted to shout that out. I know I kind of took a little extra moment there, but wanted to give it a little shout out. But other than that, yeah, go ahead and run down this one for me if you would, Daniel.
All right, Snowflake's coming in at ranked number 53. They'll open up their first 2 games at home against Bradshaw Mountain, who's 67th, and Cactus, who's 39th. Cactus is a 5A team. Then they'll be having a little bit of a rivalry there as they are at Sholo, who's ranked 125. After their bye, they'll be at home against 99th ranked Gilbert. And then they have 3 straight road games at Seton Catholic, who's 159, at Poston Butte, who's 56, at Marcos de Niza, who's 91, and then 2 home games back-to-back against Eastmark, who's 28th, Apache Junction, who's 121, and finish up on the road at Sierra Linda, who's 141. Max Preps has them going 8-2, and the only one in agreement with them is Mr. Rodney Cox, where me and Chris have them going 9-1. So I don't know who wants to start that one right there.
You know what? Here we go. Check this out. So I've seen Snowflake play. I was at the game last year against Cactus where they lost 20-17, and they should have won. It was a very hard-fought game. But again, they lost. And I know we are in agreement that they're going to, potentially, take the L again. But the only one that I have is, again, them against Eastmark, right? And I know last year against Eastmark, they lost 27-10, which we already said. And I know Eastmark, they lost their head coach with Travis Dixon. I know they were a heavy senior team and things like that. But again, I got word, from our ABC News that that Eastmark got some players. So I'm just saying. So 8-2, let's go. Snowflake.
Schefter with the breaking news.
Wait, hold on. Okay, no, never mind. Nope. So hey, Snowflake 8-2. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's go.
But yeah,
Yeah.
everything was pretty much the same though.
Yeah,
As far as pick by pick.
So
Yeah.
I think with me and you, Daniel, we both go 9-1, which is actually interesting because I mean another thing that we're going to be doing this season as well is we are actually talking about let's see here. We're talking about actually the region champions. And we did something different today where we had talked about it in the last show and we wanted to kind of come up with our region champions. So now it's interesting, right? So me and Daniel are kind of looking similar. So Daniel, go ahead and run down. Actually, I'll run down mine first, I guess. I got Snowflake as my region champion. Eastmark coming in second. Third would be Poston Butte. Fourth being Marcos de Niza, and Apache Junction rounding off the five. Daniel, what's yours?
I got Snowflake as well as the region champions. Then I have Poston Butte at 3-1, Eastmark at 2-2, Apache Junction at 1-3, and Marcos de Niza going 0-4 in the region.
Rodney, what's your view?
All right, so I'm gonna throw y'all a curveball. See, I have Eastmark with the region champ. I have Snowflake coming in second, and then I have Poston Butte coming in 2-2, with Marco de Niza coming in fourth, and then rounding up the end is going to be Apache Junction going 0-4. So it's
gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
And if there was one team you could probably say was going to be a spoiler team, which one would it be?
Ooh.
Poston Butte.
We got our Poston Butte.
Yeah,
because for me it's Apache Junction. I mean, they're 2 years removed from making the playoffs.
Okay,
and so they had a first round exit, but when they have that quarterback, I believe their quarterback a couple of years ago he got ready to play in the Senior Bowl, but he ended up hurting his knee in practice.
correct.
And so when they have that type of quarterback and they have a running back, I know they had Isaiah Savoy, who was supposed to be their running back last year, but he ended up transferring out of state. They are a different type of ball club, because if you go from last year, I mean, it was a down season. They had to kind of plug and play. So I think, especially against like Poston Butte, they could play spoilers. They play each other very well. And so if I picked a team that was going to possibly knock off one or possibly two teams, it could be Apache Junction.
I mean, and that just goes to show how tight you think. And obviously, this region a lot better than we do. Normally, like I'm obviously focused more on Southern Arizona. Rodney probably pretty much as well. So it's interesting to see how tight this region actually could be, and it's actually showing that this could be some great football in this region. So definitely a region to keep our eyes out on. Was there anything else you guys wanted to kind of cover before we get going here?
No. Listen, bring on football. Let's go.
There we go. I know you. Hey, tell the people about that college football 25.
Hey, listen, real quick. I'm gonna give you 10 seconds. Listen, I'm about to jump on that right now. I just played one game and I won because I'm that good. So if anybody wants to play me, the gamer tag is GT We Ready. Okay. Because we stay ready. So we ain't got to get ready.
If y'all hated his predictions, whoop him on the game.
And then post about it. Because if I beat y'all, I'm going to post about it on all my social media. So don't play me unless you want to get embarrassed.
Do it. I'd tell you guys to do it. Go stomp on him. Go shot him around you. Go. He's probably.
So next episode, we got the 3A Central coming up, right? So it'll be another region I'm familiar with there. So that'll be a good one. It's going to be one that's always very competitive, no matter what team comes out on top. So if you want to talk spoilers there, come ready to talk about that 3A Central, because
telling everybody right now,
it's all over the place. I can tell you that.
Like, you guys are making fun of me on this next one. All right, guys. You guys good?
Yeah, we good.
All right, y'all take it easy.